Why are we still hassling people over these? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things that need to be legalized. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at things that can get you fined, arrested, or imprisoned, but about which there's a reasonable argument for legalization. If something is legal, but only in certain states as opposed to nationwide, it will still be considered.
Oh, well, as long as you're filming and selling it, it's legal. Enjoy your day. Remember, kids, she's not a whore if she's an actress.
Number 10. Running a red at a deserted intersection. For some activities on this list, we're going to be arguing for complete legalization. For others, like running red lights, we're just looking for a little more understanding and logic-driven applications of the law. Red lights are important. Running a red light is incredibly dangerous. Even late at night, when there are seemingly no cars around, if your line of sight is in any way obstructed, running the red should be out of the question.
Red light.
But when you run the light at an abandoned intersection, a ticket feels like a cash grab. Why not allow for a little logical wiggle room? Number 9. Pirate radio. We accept the fact that the landmasses on Earth have already been divided up and claimed by the nations of the world. The airwaves, though, we're still willing to fight the government over that one. Across the globe, nations implement systems of control to regulate who can broadcast over radio waves. Admittedly, in the United States, compared to some countries, the regulatory system is relatively relaxed. But in order to broadcast even locally and without profit, there are legal loopholes you need to jump through to avoid being labeled pirate radio. But if no one's using the frequency, what's the harm? If it's not hate speech, let the pirates play. Number 8. Prostitution. Newsflash, people have sex, often out of wedlock, and usually with a number of different partners. So if two consenting adults agree to have sex involving financial compensation, who's it hurting? In all honesty, often the sex worker, but not in some abstract moral sense. The life of a prostitute is dangerous not because of the profession, but because it's illegal.
Trying to determine if she is a professional sex worker.
Want to see the overlap between prostitution and drug use, STIs, organized crime, underage sex, and violence against women get drastically reduced? Legalize prostitution and give these workers rights and regulations. Because if you film it, sell it, and call it porn, it becomes legal anyway. And that double standard is too glaring to ignore.
No, I paid her to have sex and we're filming it. So technically it's not prostitution, it's a porno.
Number 7. Going topless. Nipples are nipples. Despite the fact that from the waist up we all look remarkably similar, women are expected to keep their nipples under wraps, while men are free to go topless. What's the difference?
I want to break free!
The curvature of a woman's breasts compared to the chest of a man seems like a rather arbitrary distinction. And if it's because for many the female breast is an object of sexual desire, then it's time to stop sexualizing them.
How about that side boob? That turn you on? Well, it shouldn't, 'cause that's my side boob.
If women decided that male hands were too sexy for display, would they be forced to wear mittens? It's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I really liked your hands.
My hand?
Yeah.
So, free the nipple. Number 6. Jaywalking.
Jesus Christ, when are they going to develop button technology that will understand urgency?
We get why people can't just walk across the street whenever they feel like it. If individuals could just stroll into high-speed traffic, chaos would ensue. Drawing on the same sentiment expressed in the red light abandoned intersection entry, this is a case where we need the law to maintain order, but would prefer to see some logical legal exceptions for specific scenarios where the law no longer applies.
It's a truth you can't refute.
If there aren't any cars coming, laws against jaywalking should not be enforced. Number 5. Carrying a beverage through airport security. We get it. Airport security is only going to get more strict, not less. But can't someone with a half-finished bottle of water or soda dream? It just seems like in this age of fear and international terrorism, a bottle of liquid shouldn't be a top priority for the TSA anymore. And yet, the 3-1-1 rule persists. That means you can carry liquids in 3.4-ounce bottles in 1-quart-sized clear Ziploc bags in one carry-on bag. Cool. But also, can we just finish this open bottle of airport soda we spent $5 on? Number 4. Alcohol in all counties. As far as the federal government is concerned, alcohol is not illegal for adults. So, why does the federal government allow smaller state and local governments to strip the rights of individuals and businesses to consume, serve, and distribute alcohol? Don't get us wrong, there is no shortage of arguments against drinking, but at the end of the day, it should be at the discretion of the individual. From a national perspective, prohibition failed, and yet there are currently hundreds of dry counties where the sale of alcohol is forbidden. Making people drive a long distance to get booze? Never a great idea. Number 3, a countrywide legal drinking age of 18.
He's 21 at midnight. Cool?
Speaking of alcohol consumption in adults, let's talk about what constitutes adulthood. Across the United States, the drinking age is 21, but around the world, 18 is often considered to be adulthood, although the age can vary slightly.
When's your birthday?
22nd of February.
What year? Every year. Get out.
Whether it's 18, 19, or 21, the age of adulthood should be consistent. If an 18-year-old is legally able to join the army and potentially die for their country without parental consent, then that should make them of legal age in the eyes of the government. So why aren't they trusted to drink alcohol or gamble at that age too? Number 2, marijuana. Once again, we see how the US is a country divided when it comes to the legality of substances.
Wait a minute. Then whose joint is it?
It's mine.
While states' rights are fundamental to the concept of the United States of America, ultimately, if the federal government feels strongly enough on a subject, under the Supremacy Clause, they have the final say. Thankfully, the federal government hasn't squashed state-based legal marijuana laws, but short of legalization at the federal level, marijuana users and distributors remain concerned. Considering how financially lucrative the industry has proven, as well as the burden it would remove from the prison system, why not just legalize the stuff nationwide?
Just say no.
Number 1, importing medicine to the United States. In America, the cost of healthcare has been unnecessarily inflated. Need proof? Just ask anyone living in a country with a socialized healthcare plan where, when something goes wrong, the size of their wallet does not matter. Medicine doesn't need to leave you penniless.
And I'm telling you that I swear to God on my life that I will pay for this if you just give me the opportunity.
In fact, you can get your medicine for a fair price outside of the United States. The problem is getting it across the border. According to the FDA, importing drugs for personal use is allowed, but only in 3-month quantities, and only if an equivalent treatment is not available in the United States. With pharmaceutical companies charging criminally high prices, though, it might be time to change the import laws.
Our son is upstairs dying, and all you can do is sit here and talk about money?
It costs money to provide health care.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.